How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this one, we're going to be rebuilding the Minnesota Timberwolves. So if you've been with the channel for a minute, you know we did an entire series rebuilding the Timberwolves, and we won a championship in the second year, which is pretty fast for a team that has a bunch of young players. But I'm trying to do exactly that again, but with different moves. So I have to preface this by saying, you know, these rebuilding videos, these trades aren't meant to be realistic. So I'm going to pull off some trades or some signings that may not be able to happen in real life. But my ultimate goal is to win a championship as fast as possible. If that's winning in the first year, we're trying to do that, or winning the second year, which is probably the most realistic of the two. That's what we're trying to do. So the first trade we're going to do, I know this hurts the Minnesota Timberwolves fans, but we are going to trade KG. I knew he was going to retire, so I wanted to get something for him. In exchange, we got Mo Harkless in a first-round pick. So we got a young guy, and we also got a first-round pick. If you don't know, man, I love stacking up the picks because once draft day comes around, that's when things really go down. We trade those draft picks for great, hardened players, and that's exactly what we're going to do in this video. So honestly, like usually when I do these rebuilding videos, I make a couple trades right off the bat in the first season. But this one, we made one trade this entire first season. I love this Timberwolves team, and usually I would trade these young players for guys that I know that can come in and play right now. But if you think about the Timberwolves roster, those guys are already playing like veterans. Honestly, Karl-Anthony Towns is Rookie of the Year probably this year, and he's having one of the best rookie seasons in a long time. And he actually won Rookie of the Year in this video too. So I did want to get rid of him, even though I know his value is really high. We can probably get a nice player for him. I decided to keep him, and most improved went to our boy Zach LaVine. So that was another reason why I didn't want to trade him. But in the first season, of course, we did not make the playoffs. Our record was actually pretty bad. We ended 29-53. But ending with a bad record right now is pretty good because you know that means our draft pick is going to be high and we could trade that draft pick for a good player. And that's the way I do it. I could go out and try to draft Ben Simmons, which a lot of people do, but I actually want to get a player that I know that can help our team right now. And the end of the first season, the OKC Thunder win the championship. That's usually how it goes when you simulate games. The Thunder win the championship, and they beat the Heat. The Heat made it all the way to a championship, forced to Game 7, but lost. So like I said, I knew KG was going to retire, so I traded him. Tim Duncan retired, Vince Carter retired. So there was a lot of great guys that retired this year, and it kind of sucked. But now we're moving on to the draft lottery. You see right here, we have a 15.6% chance to be getting that first overall pick, and that's what we're shooting for. So I'm going to cut it till we get to the 5th pick. We were supposed to get that 4th pick right there, but we're going to be in the top 3, which is amazing. Potentially get that first overall pick. The 3rd pick is going to go to the Boston Celtics. So we can be the number 1 pick or the number 2 pick. We got our fingers crossed to be that number 1 pick because that pick's value is just so high. But we end up getting the 2nd pick, which I'm not too mad about because the 2nd pick still, you know, can bring us some nice players. But that number 1 pick would have been amazing. And the Sacramento Kings get the 1st pick. So the offseason is where I get everything done, man. This is the best time of the year. And it usually starts off in this draft. So like I said a couple times, we're trying to trade this 1st pick. We still got Nikola Pekovic, the guy that I'm trying to move the most. First thing I did was go through Trade Finder. Usually I try to find somebody in Trade Finder that'll really help. I saw Kemba there. I've had Kemba in the first 2 rebuilding videos that we've done on this channel. But like I said, I'm trying to switch it up. So I didn't want to go trade for Kemba. I saw Eric Bledsoe. I was like, that would be solid. But I was like, you know what? I think I need to go out and manually get a trade because these Trade Finder trades aren't great. I saw Porzingis right there, but I need a guy, an all-star that can come in and help our team. And honestly, I had to cut out so much footage from this trade thing because I was there for literally 30 minutes trying to put together a trade to get an all-star. And ultimately, we actually do that. You see, we're working it out right now. We're trying to get Blake Griffin, throwing them a lot of draft picks because like I said, my goal is to win a championship in one of the first 2 years, and bam, there it is. We traded a couple first round picks and a couple players, and we end up getting Blake Griffin on the squad. So here we go. This is our roster going into the 2nd season. Yes, you did just see DeMar DeRozan. We picked him up out of free agency along with some other guys to fill the roster, made our bench decent. But yes, DeMar DeRozan is our new starting shooting guard. So we got Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Wiggins, Blake Griffin, and Karl-Anthony Towns in that starting 5, and that is amazing. And our bench is actually pretty good too. We picked up Ersan Ilyasova, we picked up Brandon Jennings, so I do think this 2nd year could definitely be the year that we win a championship. But you know, it doesn't always go as planned, so we're gonna have to see if we can do it in 2 years. So we started off the season really well. I think we started off 10-1, but at the All-Star break, we're sitting at 42-12, 2nd in the West behind the OKC Thunder, the defending champions. So let's go take a look, man. Sitting at second. So we're only a couple games behind them for that first overall seed. So it's definitely doable. We can definitely move up to that first pick or that first seed in the playoffs. We'll take a look at the player stats. With having so many nice pieces, I didn't expect anybody to be out there averaging like 30. So of course we got like 5 or 6 guys averaging double digits. And then I'm like, you know what? I think our team is solid, so I'm not making any more trades. We're going to go into the playoffs with this team and pray that we don't have any injuries. And here we go. Season awards for year number 2. KD wins the MVP. Rookie of the year goes to Scal. Yes, Scal wins Rookie of the year. 6th man goes to Marcus Smart, and you can read the rest of it. Most improved went to Kentrell Beecham, and Billy Donovan again wins coach of the year, which doesn't make a lot of sense because we did finish with the best record in the league, 65-17. I don't know why I never win coach of the year, but it is what it is, man. We have that number 1 seed going into year 2. In the first round, we're going against the LA Lakers. The Lakers turned it around in 1 year, and it actually started off pretty bad for us. We almost got eliminated right here in this first round to the Lakers. We're down 3-2, and I'm like, I got to see who's on their team. Who did they pick up that made their team so much better? Of course, it's LeBron James. LeBron James made this team and get to the playoffs and turn this team around. So you know what I got to do? I got to simcast this next game because we could potentially be getting eliminated in the very first round, and this entire thing could be down the drain because I do only do 2 years. I know a lot of people on YouTube or the people that do these type of videos try to do it in their first 3 years. I cut it down to 2 to try to make things more intense. So we did take game 6. So we're going into game 7, which means we're at home. Look at game 6. Blake Griffin put up a triple-double. That's big. Zach LaVine did his thing too. So game 7, man, we're going into game 7. This is a big one against the Lakers. Luckily, we are at home, and hopefully that home court advantage does play a part. Simcasting, of course, and we're praying that we could get out of this first round, and we actually do. You see that lead, man? We're up by almost 20 at this point, so I don't think that we're going to turn around, and we're going to try to get this victory, and that's exactly what we do. So we're moving on into the second round, and we're going to be going against the San Antonio Spurs. You see the box score from that last game, game 7. A lot of guys picked it up, and we did move on to the next round. So against the Spurs, honestly, it was no big deal. I was expecting them to put up a bigger fight, but we beat them in the series 4-1, and we move on to the Western Conference Championship against the defending champion OKC Thunder. You see, we simulated games. It's going back and forth. I think it was 2-2 at one point, but then our guys win 2 games in a row, and we get into that championship game. And we're going against the Boston Celtics. Turned it around in 1 year. And we take a look at their roster. They picked up Kevin Love through a trade. Like, I like this team a lot because this is really realistic. A lot of people thought that K-Love was going to get traded to Boston after at the trade deadline this year. But look at this. We're down 3-0 and everything. Like, my heart sunk when we lost those first 3 games. So we got to simcast it, trying to be the first team in NBA history to bring it back from 0-3. In the game 4, we actually do. We get that first victory, but we got a lot more on our plate, man. We're hoping that we can do this. Game 2, this is how we doing. We're not even looking at box scores because I feel like we're going to throw off our groove a little bit. Game 2, we win by 10, or we get our second win. So it's 3-2 right now their way. So game 6 is a big one, man. Game 6 is a big one. We could force a game 7. That's exactly what we do, boys. We bring it all the way back. So let's see how it goes, man. Game 7. And we are the home team, so hopefully home court advantage does play a part, and it's coming down to the wire, man. This may be one of the best championship series of all time. Down by 2 with 25 seconds left. You know what? I gotta jump into this. And so that's exactly what we do. So here we go. We give the ball up to Zach LaVine. He's getting guarded by Isaiah Thomas, taking advantage of that size difference, man. Zach LaVine, 6'6", point guard, so we took advantage of that. So now we got to get a stop and force the overtime. 10 seconds left. They got Isaiah Thomas at the top trying to play some good defense. They give it up to Avery Bradley, and look what Avery Bradley does, man. Pulls it and knocks it down. That may be the end of the series, but Zach LaVine trying to make it work, man. Zach LaVine came into the clutch, pulling up. Isaiah Thomas is too small. He knocks down the 3, and we're going to overtime. So I did not want to play overtime. Honestly, I didn't want to play overtime, so I did Simcast Live, so you guys can see every possession that went down in overtime, free throws and all. I love Simcast Live in NBA 2K16. Probably one of the best features that aren't, like, nobody really uses it, but I'm going to use it here in this video, because I feel like if I were to play this, I would definitely win the championship. Our team is too stacked, and I think our team is better than them. So if I were to be playing these entire possessions, I think we'd blow them out. To make it more realistic, I let them play ball, and I did jump in the last, I think, minute, or not even a minute, last couple seconds of the game. You see, it's still close, man. Nobody's pulling away in this OT. And they're at the free throw line right here. Big free throws, but he missed that second one. So we got a 3-point lead with a minute left, and they get fouled again. But this time he knocks down both. So we're up by 4 with a minute left. Make that 2. Like, it's going back and forth, man. We need a stop in this possession right here. But they scored, knocked down a 3. 25 seconds left, and we are jumping in. Zach LaVine, the guy who sent us to overtime with the ball in his hands. I want to ISO. I love this height advantage that Zach LaVine has. I call for the pick and roll with the big cat Karl Anthony Towns. Pick and roll, nice heads, and look, he heads and left my man Karl Anthony Towns wide open at the top of the key, green release, and that's going to be game, boys. We need to stop right here. They get a quick shot, but it wasn't enough, and before they can even foul us, we're playing hot potato with the ball, and look at that. We actually win the championship. We brought it back down 0-3, boys. We brought it back, and we end up winning the championship. So if you did enjoy the video, as always, man, you guys have always been great with leaving likes on the videos. Continue to do that. Let me know what team I should rebuild next. So what have we done so far? I'm not even sure what teams we've done so far, but we got 3 done. There's still 27 teams left that we can potentially do. Look at my man, DeMar DeRozan made that right decision to sign here, man. I gave him the max. I gave DeMar DeRozan the max just to bring him here, and it was the right decision. The champions of the world, Minnesota Timberwolves. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you guys later.